Happy Saturday, everybody. My name is Heir Samurai. Welcome to the channel.
Excellent.
All right, so today we're going to be going over how to shoot in the post, how to be an efficient post player. I'm so excited to release this video because I had somebody ask me this question. I believe it's on Twitter. Let me check real quick. Let's see, was it on Twitter? Yes, my man Ronnie Moores hit me up on Twitter. He was asking about scoring in the paint when people just sit in the paint, which is the most annoying thing ever. I totally get it. I totally understand, man. I deal with it a lot simply because my player specifically with the blue and orange pie chart and being a slash and playmaker, he is designed to score within the arc. That's what that play style is designed to do more effectively than everything else. The skill comes in when you can do stuff on the outside. I'm going to be specifically talking about how to score in the paint when people just paint sit, okay? I'm going to summarize the 5 things that I feel like you need in order to be able to beat people that just paint sit the entire time if you're inside center. And also, I'm gonna go in depth on those things. So, the 5 things you're gonna need are patience, spacing, evolving gaps, go-to moves, and know when to pass. When it comes to patience is gonna be the #1 factor because they're gonna sit in the paint. Unfortunately, 2K didn't put in a defensive 3-second in the key in the park specifically. So, you've got to be patient. And what I say by being patient is if you don't have the ball and the guard is zooming up court, don't clog the space in the paint by you also sitting out there. At least force the defender to feel like you're a threat from another area on the floor to be able to pass you the ball. Assess the floor, make sure that the little guard that just passed you the ball is not running back towards you to try to reset and get the ball, and then you get the ball and you start making your way towards the paint on the big man that's already sitting down there. #2, we're talking about spacing. Spacing is a part of patience, but spacing is the most important thing ever as well, okay? In order for you guys to be an effective team on the floor, I don't care if you run a 3-center lineup, y'all need to spread out. Force the defense to move. The best and the fastest way to force the defense to move is with passing. But if you're not forcing the defense to move with passing, if you don't have the ball, give your teammate ample amount of space to be able to go to work, do what it is they're doing. And then if they don't have anything, you need to be spaced out enough, not to the point where it's easy for them to get the pass lane steal, or defense get the pass lane steal. You need to be spaced out enough so that way your defender cheats off of you and tries to go over and gets a bump steal and knock the ball out, that they pay immediately because you have such good spacing on the floor. And that also leads me to evolving gaps. This is the most critical thing that I see that happens in the 2K community all the time that we ignore. Evolving gaps, guys. Offense is not just offense. In order for you to play an effective offense in the park, right? And this goes for the pro-am as well too. Do not sit in one spot and just wait on the ball. You are a sitting duck for a pass lane steal for somebody like myself to wait on you to do that, and just wait a little bit off to the side, wait for you to just sit still like a dummy, and then for me to dart out into the pass lane, tip the ball, and go down and do a 360 windmill jam. So that's not really on the passer, that's on you because you're sitting still. So even though the passer gets that turnover, it's on you because you're sitting still on the pass. Now, if you're moving and the passer just recklessly throws the ball at your direction because they got jammed up and they don't know what else to do and the ball gets stolen, that's on them. But if you're a sitting duck while they're trying to operate and then they try to throw you the ball, if somebody steals that passing lane steal, that's on you because you're not evolving with the gaps. The gaps change as the defense rotates. When you get the ball in the paint, you need to have a go-to move. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold left trigger, right? I've got my dribble activated. There's no double team coming towards me. I'm going to hold left trigger and I'm gonna flick the right stick towards the ball hand. Your player will do this move. Once your player does that move, right, that throws the defense off. And because it throws them off to a certain extent, they're gonna be out of position. You hit down on the right stick to shoot your post fade. Post fades are easier to green in the mid-range than regular jump shots a lot of the times. Because if you have a certain number of badges, right? For instance, every time you shoot a post fade, even if a person does get smart enough to learn how to close out on you and defend it, if you have Deadeye on, which everybody should have Deadeye on, or at least silver. I have it on silver. I would have it on gold, but I put deep fades on bronze just to test it out, and it kind of helps a little bit. But if you have Deadeye or at least Silver, right? And then for me, I have Quick Draw on Gold. So not only is my shot fast, but I also have Deadeye on. So when you try to come up and defend that post fade, you're not gonna have much luck, simply because every single time I do a post fade and you close out, Deadeye pops up every single time, okay? So Deadeye is crucial to being able to score in the paint if you're gonna shoot post fades, right? And then on top of that, if you have something like deep fades, that'll help if you're a little bit further away from the basket. Not when you're really up close up on it, but when you're a little bit further away from the basket. And a lot of people don't know this, but this is a major key when it comes to the post fade go-to move. Post fades are more deadly the closer you get to the basket. If you pin a guy almost directly underneath the basket and you do that move where you do the juke first and then you go into a post fade, it's almost gonna fall in the basket even without you trying, just because it's a post fade. So make sure to give that a try if you have a post fade on your player. If you don't have post fade on your player, you gotta go to another go-to move, right? You should have up your post hook. Now, if you're inside center and you're interior force, I'm pretty sure you put up all your inside stuff. Your post hook should be high. You can do the same move where you do the juke move, but then go into the post hook instead. I've shot post hooks on people in the park and all kind of stuff. It works wonders. Go in, select the post hook that looks quick and fast to you. It's gonna work with your player and your play style, and shoot your post hook, man. Use your post hook to your advantage. Don't ignore these moves just because most people want to do hezzy behind the back, hezzy behind the back, behind the screen. Go the same way, shoot a three. Don't get caught up in that. You have a whole set of skills that you allocated to your player that you are not utilizing because everybody else likes to just play the same way and they don't utilize all the tools at their disposal, okay? So use your post hook if you don't have the ability. You can do the same thing, back them down, right? Back them down, get in close to the basket, back them down. Try not to be too heavy on the aggressive back down, but back them down. Do your little juke move. And also too, if you hold turbo and you flip the right stick in different directions, it gives you different juke moves, right? And those can be just as useful, especially if you have a mid-range jump shot. But do your juke move, right? And then go right into your post hook. These kind of things work wonders, and it's gonna help you score on somebody sitting in the paint. They're gonna get confused, and you can shoot perfect on them down there if you get into the midcourt and get the timing of your post hook and your post fade. And one other gem I want to drop on people too is the drop step. If you're a big man and you're an interior force, or you're some sort of paint specific player, you should have a decent drop step or ability to drop step people in the post to the point where you can really destroy them down there, okay? Shout out to Phil, shout out to Moosey. When I play with those two guys, I'm completely unguardable because they spread the floor so much, and the spacing and the evolving gaps is just so, it's magnificent. You know what I'm saying? But when I play with those guys specifically, right? When I get the ball in the post, there's nothing you can do. You're on an island. I can promise you that. You, sir, are on an island. And if you get smart and start guarding the post fade extra quick or whatever it is, I can always do my signature. One of my favorite moves in basketball, the up and under, as a guard in the paint. And that really irritates me. Especially if you make like some little 6'3" or 6'4" offensive threat, and I put you in the post, do that juke move, shoot a couple post fades on you, and then I go into an up and under. I mean, like, whoever's in a party with you at that particular time, they're going to roast you because you can't defend it. It's impossible to defend. And it's not impossible to defend because it's cheese. It's impossible to defend because you never play against it. So you don't know your guard. All you've been doing all year long from October or September, whenever the game dropped, till now is running, chasing people behind screens at a three-point line and trying to stop threes. You don't know how to guard post play. Not if you don't guard players that use those moves. So I'm explaining all of this stuff in this video to give you guys all of the tips and the tools that you're gonna need in order to be able to get out there and dominate people when they sit in the paint. You gotta have options. If you don't have options as an offensive player, you might as well not be on the court, okay? You gotta have options, guys. So however you made your player, you don't need to make another player. You need to work with the things that you upgraded, okay? If you can drop step, if you got high strength, drop step, use your drop step or whatever it is. If you got a high post hook, use your post hook. Do a juke move to make sure that they're not just gonna snatch block it out the air, and use your post hook. Use all the tools at your disposal in order for you to be the best offensive player on the floor at every given time you touch them. All right, and my final tip is knowing when to pass, okay? Now, that sounds pretty basic. A lot of people don't know when to pass, okay? If you're big and you're getting double teamed, you gotta know when to pass to the cutter. You gotta know when to wait for the cutter to be able to go back out and get a more open shot. The object of playing is you want to get shots with the highest percentages and the least amount of resistance, okay? Now, I do a lot of contact dunking and stuff. Those shots don't fit that criteria, but that's okay because I have options that make it easier for me to contact dunk bigs and rim protections and different things like that. And what makes it easy for me to do that is that I have so many moves, it's hard for them to guess exactly what's going to happen when I get to the paint. Sometimes I'll drive all the way to the paint and act like I'm going to dunk and go into a post move and shoot a quick hook or a quick fade. It just depends, man. It depends. It comes with playing as much as humanly possible. Don't be afraid to get out here on the court and play with people. Don't be afraid to lose, because when 2K20 rolls around, nobody's gonna give a crap anyway about your, win percentage or this or that. None of that stuff matters. That I made a whole video talking about meta players and win percentages, okay? I've beaten people with 80 and 90 something win percentages. I've done it. But it depends on the team, the personnel, and it depends on, what we're playing like when we're on the court. If I'm serious and I'm playing, it's hard to stop me when I have the right team, aka Moosey and Phil, which I haven't played with them in a couple days, but we'll get back on the line eventually. But that is really, really hard to beat simply because we've got the right lineups. It's 3 guards. Moosey can guard any big man. Like, it's incredible. He's 6'5", he can guard bigs in the paint, and he be clapping that crap. So, yeah, it depends on the teams, man. It depends on the matchups and our lineups, and don't be afraid to get out here and play and lose. Like, there's nothing wrong with losing. You're gonna learn more in a loss if you're actually paying attention than you will when you actually win. So I don't mind the win percentage thing. Get out there, have fun, know those 5 things that I said to do, and just continue to play the game, man, and you'll get better at it, especially scoring on people that paint sick, because I know it's annoying. All right, everybody, that's it for this video. Glad you stuck around to the end. If you did stick around to the end, be sure to leave me a comment with any questions, anything that you may want to talk about. Be happy to help. Be happy to talk about more post moves. I'll start developing more post moves as well too. Right now, my post fade is like so hard to guard that I really don't need to use anything else outside of that. I may do a post hook every now and then, but it just depends. But if you got anything you want to talk about, whether it be animation, anime, Demon Slayer is one of the best anime I've ever seen. If you got anything you want to talk about any animation, anime, side hustles, 2K, hit me up, man. Let me know. And until next time, happy Saturday.